What is good, y'all? My name is Vellerton, and today we're doing a tier list. And no, not just any regular tier list. No, this tier list is special because I'm doing it, right? This tier list is special because a professional Harry Potter goer is doing it, okay? I've read all the books and I've watched all the movies multiple times. So if anyone's qualified to do a movie tier list about Harry Potter, it's me. Everything I'm about to say in this video regarding the tier list, regarding the movies, is 100% facts. You can believe me. And what I say will not leave very much room for interpretation. What it is what it is. So you can disagree if you want to, but just know you'll be wrong. Now, before we really get started with the tier list, I want to go over a few rules we're going to abide by when doing this. Now, since this is a movie tier list, I'm not going to go by the books at all. Meaning, I'm going to rank the movies based on the movies themselves, the storytelling in the movies themselves, how the movies are as standalones aside from the books. The next rule I'm gonna have for this tier list is we're going to keep all biases out. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, if you hate Umbridge, I'm not gonna rank Order of the Phoenix lower because I hate Umbridge. You know what I'm saying? And then there's some movies that are rewatchable to me and some that aren't. I'm not gonna rank them that way. I'm gonna rank them objectively, but what I think is the best movie out of, you know what I'm saying, the choices. And the last rule I have is you guys have to let me know what your ranking is in the comments. It's only fair. You're watching the video. You might as well go in the comments and type out how your tier list would look, or rank your movies from 8 to 1, 1 to however you want to do it. Right? Just explain it in the comments when you do it. Nope. And now, without further ado, let's get to the actual tier list. And the very first movie in the Harry Potter movies is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for my North American folk, and everywhere else around the world, I think, Philosopher's Stone. And since I'm from America, I will be saying Sorcerer's Stone. So for my Philosopher's Stone people, it's the same things. So you know what I'm talking about when I say Sorcerer's Stone. So yeah. Now the Sorcerer's Stone movie is interesting because it's not one of my favorites, but it's something I put on in the background sometimes. You know, like if I'm laying down to go to sleep, like it's really rewatchable for me. It's simple. You don't gotta pay attention to the plot too much. There's in the later movies down the line, like it gets more serious. The tone gets more serious. The themes, like everything just gets more serious. And I just think when you have a more serious movie, it's harder to just put on whenever. Maybe that's just me, but for me, it's harder to just put that movie on whenever. Like one of the more serious movies, like Goblet of Fire or Deathly Hallows. But Sorcerer's Stone does a lot good. It's the introduction to the entire series. It did very well at the box office, and it's a classic. Now, the pros and cons of the movie. We'll start with the pros first. It doesn't ever feel like the movie really drags, so it has good pacing. Another pro is that the world feels magical. Like Chris Columbus's view of Hogwarts and just the entirety of the Wizarding World, it feels bright, it feels magical. Like the tone for the first two movies are perfect. And then the last pro I give is that the Quidditch scene was fire. Like the Quidditch scene's fire. Oh, also, okay, I lied about the last pro thing. But the ending of the movie when they go through the trials to try to get to the Sorcerer's Stone, and then Harry meets Quirrell. Go, dude. And with all that being said, we're going to put Sorcerer's Stone at A tier. This is why tier lists are so fundamentally different than just like a straight up ranking, like ranking these movies 1 through 8. Because on a tier list, you can have certain movies that you would rank in a regular ranking in the same tier, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'd have the movie like ranked at the same. Like it's hard to explain, and since it's hard to explain, we're just gonna keep going. Next up, we got Chamber of Secrets. Now, Chamber of Secrets pretty much has the same vibe as Sorcerer's Stone, and surprisingly enough, Chamber of Secrets is a lot of people's like least favorite Harry Potter movie. I didn't know that until recently. I love Chamber of Secrets. No. See, I can't explain it. This is why I say tier list and a ranking is different, because the movie of Chamber of Secrets is objectively good. The movie is good. The movie did amazing. But a lot of people would have it as like maybe their least favorite movie on the list. So while a tier list would place it higher, because it's not an F, someone's personal list on their favorite movies or just straight up ranking all the movies would probably have it lower. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Like, if you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. But Chamber of Secrets, we're going to go ahead and put at A also. The reason why I'm putting Chamber of Secrets at A is because it doesn't necessarily do anything worse than Sorcerer's Stone besides the pacing. I think Chamber of Secrets is the longest movie, being almost 3 hours. I think it's like 2 hours and 48. It's something long. But once again, the Quidditch scene was amazing. The magic got ramped up in this movie because if you don't know, or if you never paid attention to it, Harry never does a spell once in Sorcerer's Stone, which is crazy. You probably never noticed because even though Harry Potter's in the magical world, everything is not necessarily surrounded completely around magic. It's more about the characters first living in a magical world than it is a magical world with characters, if that makes sense. Now, I said I'm not going to be ranking these movies compared to the books, because if we did that, this list would be a whole lot different. But I will tell you that the reason why a lot of book readers, enjoyers, rank Chamber of Secrets maybe a little bit too low is because it's too book to like movie, like they everything feels like they just took it directly from the pages of a book and put it onto a movie, which is partly why it was so long, which I understand that. I think the reason why a majority of people though don't necessarily resonate with Chamber of Secrets too much is I think it was too long, and for it being as long as it was with not having as many action-packed things happening, I think it might have like made people get bored, truthfully, watching it. I mean, I understand that, but again, Chamber of Secrets is one of my favorite comfort movies to watch, especially out of all the Harry Potter movies. It's simple, it's fun, not really dark at all. Put it on the background while you're making some food or something. I don't know, while you watching TV, not watching TV, but just do it, clean up, I don't know, something, you know what I'm saying, putting it on in the background. The movie is really good, the villain's really good with Tom Riddle. That was a good twist. If you ain't know about it before, that was a good twist. And then Harry at the end with Fox, I mean, beautiful. Next in line is a lot of people's favorite Harry Potter movie, including mine. It is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Now this movie is a lot of people's favorites for a reason, and before, you know what, I'm gonna rank it right now. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is going directly into S tier. Yes, I said it, it is going directly into S tier. You should have already known this was happening. Do you know anything about Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban? Do you know? Do you know? What do you know about this? Tell me right now. I'll wait. Exactly. Let me tell you, Alfonso Cuarón was the director now of Harry Potter for this one movie. Chris Columbus didn't want to do it because he realized he'd be too far away from his family. He wasn't being able to spend as much time with his family by doing the Harry Potter movies. And doing it for another 10 years, he thought, nah, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to give this up. So that's what happened. And then we got Alfonso Cuarón. Now, some people didn't like this, mainly book junkies. Listen, I love the books more than the movies, but I can recognize game when game is showing to me. And in this case, people didn't like that. Everyone in Prisoner of Azkaban, or most of them, just wore Muggle clothing. And if you in the books, everyone all the time is wearing cloaks. That's what they wear in the Wizarding World, and especially on the Hogwarts grounds, everyone's wearing their cloaks for their houses. And Alfonso Cuarón, he just told everyone to wear what they normally wear. So if you ever wonder what Daniel Radcliffe would have wore back when he was 13, 14. That's what he wear. But this movie cinematography is so beautiful. It's the best in the series. The story in itself is very good with the Sirius Black and escaping from Azkaban, and all the adults are tensed up and scared for Harry, and we don't know why until Harry runs into Fudge at the Leaky Cauldron, and then he alludes to Sirius Black having something to do with Harry, and at that point our minds are intrigued. We're intrigued, like he just hinted that the reason why he was so worried, or the reason why it was such a big deal that Harry left home and got on a bus, was because there could potentially be a killer after Harry. What? He didn't confirm it though. We didn't get confirmation until about 10 minutes later in the movie, when Mr. Weasley sat Harry aside and told him that Sirius Black was a big supporter of you-know-who, and that he's finally escaped from Azkaban after 13 years, and he's coming to kill Harry. Dang, dang. That's tough, right? Damn. And then we get forward and we go on the train. This is another like 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later. No, not even 5 minutes later, I'd say. Because after that conversation, the train whistle blows, and then Mrs. Weasley is running up with Ron's rat, and is trying to give Scabbers to Ron, and then she says, don't lose him, you know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that? Look, I've watched this movie so many times, I can explain each and every scene to you. Don't play with me. But we get on the train, and then we see them sit next to Lupin, who is sleeping, and then they get to talking and stuff, and then everything gets cold. What is that? The glass is freezing up. Why is it doing that? We're in September. And then they see this creepy hand peek out from out in the hallway and grab onto the door and pull it open. Ugh, what is that? Is that Voldemort? No, it's not Voldemort. It's this huge, dark, cloaked monster zombie looking thing reaching its hand out. And what happens next? It goes towards Harry and starts breathing heavily on him. The Dementor's breath is just so hot. It just melts Harry, and then he passes out from it, you know? Sorry, you see, like, I'm explaining this to y'all, which you should already know, but this should just show how passionate I am about this movie, how good this movie is. I need to stop before I explain the whole movie to y'all. But the whole premise of Prisoner of Azkaban, the tension throughout the movie, especially the scene where we finally see Harry face off against Sirius Black, and then Lupin comes in to save them, or we think he's saving them, and then in reality, he helps Sirius Black up off the ground and gives him a hug. That's his old friend. And we're shocked. No, Lupin, how could you? We thought you were a good guy, Lupin. No. Everything gets explained. No, hold on. All these elements is what goes into why everyone loves this movie so much. The cinematography, the writing, the relationships between Harry and Lupin, which is beautiful. The start of the relationship we see between Harry and Sirius. It's just amazing, man. I don't know what else to say about it without just like glazing and going too far. Because I could talk about this movie all day. Notice how I haven't said a single comment about this movie. Because there isn't one. Now, next we got Goblet of Fire. Now, like I said, these rankings would be different if I was talking about book and movie. If I was comparing the two. Goblet of Fire is lucky I'm not comparing the two. So lucky. But since we ranking these movies on their own, this is hard. Because I had a place for it, but I'm not sure where to put it. Because since oh my gosh, so after reading the Harry Potter books for the first time years ago, and then going back and watching Goblet of Fire, it's even harder than it already was for me. Because if you know me, you know that I don't really like watching movies where something tragic happens. Like if something like if a character I care about dies in it, bro, if a character I love dies in it, or something, it just makes me sad, bro, I can't watch the movie. It's been like that a little bit for Goblet of Fire. So I'm trying to think objectively here, because I haven't watched the movie just all the way through after reading the books in a minute. So this is why I'm not fully sure where to put this. Dang, y'all help me out. What do I do? Okay, I'm leaning towards B. Hey, listen, hear me out, because I know a lot of y'all favorite movie is Goblet of Fire. Listen, if this was book to movie, if I was comparing the two, Goblet of Fire would be at D. Alright? So you B, you lucky you getting B. But I'm leaning towards B. I don't think, because when we're including, like I said, I'm being objective, so like including rewatchability, I can't do that. I can't include rewatchability. I'm doing the movies on their own, because rewatchability would be a factor in this. Okay, since a lot of y'all's favorite movie is Goblet of Fire, and I'll put it at A. I'll put it at A. And I'm not doing a ranking like this is not saying that Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets is ranked higher. I'm just putting in the tier. They're in the same tier, okay? Goblet of Fire is going in A. Like, I can't lie, the movie on its own is extremely entertaining, and this was actually the first movie I saw in the theater. I don't remember it too much, but my aunt did take me to see this movie when I was a baby. I was a toddler in the theater, and I've seen it multiple times after that when they've added it, re-released it in the theater. But the theater experience for Goblet of Fire was amazing. I'd say it's probably the best theater experience so far, like what we're up to in the movies. So far, it's probably the best theater experience, because they have big set pieces with all the things in the tournament. They have the World Cup we see at the beginning of the movie, and the movie just starts off good with Harry's dream he has about Voldemort and Wormtail and Barty Crouch Jr., which I think that was a mistake on their part. They shouldn't have shown Barty Crouch Jr. That early, because then we kind of already get that he might be moody, you know. So I don't know if that was the best decision to do, but they did it, okay. But that's a small thing. That's one of the cons I'll give. Maybe no. Another con I'll give is the freaking World Cup, bro. We didn't see anything. Like that's like from our basketball watchers, that's like tipping the ball off, right? All we see is the tip. Hold on. But like all we see is the tip off. We see, no, we don't even see which team gets it. We just see the ball go up in the air from the tip off, and then that's it, bro. That's it. What are we doing? But it was still a good little short experience. And then the whole moment where the Death Eaters pull up to the World Cup and just mess everything up, and it was interesting. It was all that stuff was all good. But the best part of the whole movie is the Triwizard Tournament. Those were super good set pieces, and super good, like, just the visual effects actually weren't bad in this movie at all. Now, like I said, if you compare some of this stuff to the book, the movie becomes very lackluster. But since we're doing it alone and separate from the books, the movie by itself is good. It's good. The acting is good, and the acting improves every movie. I didn't say that, but the acting improves every movie. The acting in the first movie was okay with the kids, but each movie it definitely improved, and you could see a big jump in acting ability from the first movie to the second movie. And out of the Golden Tree, I'm not gonna lie, I always thought Ron was the best actor of all. Ron being Rupert Grint, that's his real name. But yeah, Goblet of Fire, man, we gotta keep it an A. And then I didn't talk about the end of the movie. The end of the movie, this is where it loses me. Not because it's bad. This is where it's my problem. Remember when I said I can't watch things where a character I like or one of my favorite characters dies? Yeah, this is where that me problem comes in, because Cedric, it was so sad, bro. Hearing his dad cry, that's my boy. Like, it hurts, bro. It hurts, bro. I can't. I skip past that part every time. Kill the spare, like, it's tough. But yeah, we're gonna keep Goblet of Fire at A. I hope that makes everyone happy. Now, the next movie on our list is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Now, Order of the Phoenix is where Hogwarts really changes for the worst, because our ever so beloved Dolores Umbridge comes into play. Yes, everyone's favorite character. And props to the actress that played her. I apologize, I don't know her name, but she did amazing in that role. Look, they say when you hate a character, that's how you know they truly did their role amazing. Like, I don't know if y'all watched Prison Break, but T-Bag in that role, terrible. T-Bag is a terrible person, but you should never send hate to the actor because of the person they play. I'm getting sidetracked. We talking about Harry Potter here. Like, I might like Order of the Phoenix better than the book. I'm not gonna have that, because the whole beginning of the book leading up to them going to school, so like in the summer and up until Harry goes to school, that's some of my favorite chapters of all of Harry Potter. I'm not gonna lie. They don't show all of that stuff in the movies, so I can't say the movie I like more, but certain things I do like more, like the battle of in the Ministry. I definitely like the movie, how they handled that better than the book. And the nice one, James. Rest in peace, Sirius, man. Rest in peace, Sirius. Another reason why I cannot watch this movie that much is because Sirius gets killed off. I love Sirius. He's one of my favorite. He's top 3 characters for me. Top 3. But sadly, he gets taken out too soon, man. But I know everyone was hooked on the movie from whenever they watched it, from finding out Umbridge is going to be coming to teach. Actually, no, that's not as big of a deal as it was in the books, because in the movies they don't put much emphasis, I would say, on Umbridge before we go to Hogwarts in the movie. In the book, she speaks up and says something, and Harry notices her. I don't know. I don't know, bro. But she was horrible from the jump, bro. From the jump, especially, you could just tell something was off about her. Like, something was really wrong with her from the very first lesson they had, Harry and gang had with her. And the whole time she's just trying to shush up everything about Voldemort and how he's bad, and not really wanting to teach any of them magic, wanting to just go and read over things. And then they had their OWLs, which if you don't, it's pretty much a big test at the end of their 5th year. But she was there like sabotaging all of that, and she did not care. And she only got worse as time went on. And I was going to say that she got worse, and at the end she got really bad by actually torturing kids. And she was about to use the Cruciatus Curse on Harry, which was true. She was really about to use the Cruciatus Curse. But that never happened. The reason I said I was going to say that was because I changed it, because she was torturing them the whole year. I guarantee Harry wasn't the only one having to write on a piece of paper, and then having wherever he's writing on the paper, physically cutting him and writing on his skin, I must not tell lies. That's torture, okay? And I'm sure Harry wasn't the only one that happened to. Some problems I do have with this movie, though, and the book as well, but we're talking about the movie. Parents would have been angry, right? Like I said, there's no way Harry was the only person getting tortured. I guarantee there were other kids getting tortured. Harry's not the only rebellious kid. He's not the only kid that don't listen to everything. He's not the only one that believed Dumbledore and Harry and saying that Voldemort was back. He's not the only one. And she was just overall horrible, so she would have been horrible to other children. So the fact that she somehow was able to stay there, when I know parents would have complained to the Ministry about their children being tortured, she should have been out of there. She should have been out of there, but it's neither here nor there, man. But I will give this movie an S tier. Y'all might not agree, and that's okay. This one is interchangeable, I'd say. The other ones I don't think are interchangeable. No, wrong. I don't think are interchangeable for S. Goblet of Fire, I'd say that one is interchangeable for B, and Chamber of Secrets. If you wanted to put Chamber of Secrets in B, I'd say those two are interchangeable for Goblet of Fire and Chamber of Secrets. You could put those in B. Sorcerer's Stone, that's solidified in A, and Prisoner of Azkaban is also solidified in S. But when we're talking about Order of the Phoenix, I can see that being put in A. Matter of fact, dang. This is tough, bro, dang. I want to put, I might gotta put, you know what, I got you. Order of the Phoenix, like, A was just calling Order of the Phoenix, like, A was just whispering in my ear to just do it, bro. Order of the Phoenix gotta be an A, I'm sorry. And like I said, these are not in order. The one in A, It doesn't matter if anything's behind it. It's not in order. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, it got to go in A. If you want to make a case for it to go in S, that's fair. If you want to make a case for it, that's fair. But for me, I got to put it in A. Oh, man. Next one, we got Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Man. Now, possibly my favorite book, right? The movie, though. Look, if we were comparing the movie and the book, and the book, Half-Blood Prince would be down there where I put Goblet of Fire right in D tier. I'm not gonna lie to you. The stuff they took out to have more of the romance plot line and action scenes they added, like, if y'all didn't know, the Weasley house being attacked over winter break, you know, when Bellatrix came and attacked them, Death Eaters came and attacked at their house and destroyed their house. And there was only one thing said about it. Like, immediately after it happened, we cut back to Harry being at school, and it was Harry and Hermione, right, walking. Okay, Hermione said something about it, right? After that, it never got mentioned again. Ever. There was never any repercussion. Never got mentioned again. But we're talking about the movie only. Now, I already know where I'm putting it. I already know. And no, you can't change my mind. I know where I'm putting it. Matter of fact, I'm sure right now. I'm putting it in B. Harry Potter and Half-Blood Prince is B tier. Now, you might say B tier is too harsh. I say it's not harsh enough. But I'm unbiased. I can see you putting this movie in A tier. I can see it. Okay? I can see it. I can see you putting this movie in A tier. Wanna know why? Because the movie by itself is still good. It has its faults with it, not with it leaving stuff out from the books, but from the movie by itself, including it with its predecessors as the only other things we have to go off of it. It's still a good movie. None of the Harry Potter movies are bad. I'll say that. None of them are bad by themselves. But when we're talking about strictly the movie, there's just some stuff that you could say doesn't make sense. Like, if Harry was into Ginny, if he was starting to have feelings for her, why was he trying to talk to the bartender lady, not bartender, the waitress at the beginning of the movie? You could say that, but you know, that one's like, did he have feelings for her? I've heard people say something about that, but me, I don't really care. But I say there's never really a bad point in this movie. Like I said, we're gonna use a little bit less of the romance stuff with Ron, Hermione, and Lavender. It's mainly due to them leaving stuff out from the book and deciding to keep that stuff in. That's what it's mainly for. So I can't really fault it for that. You know what? I'm thinking more about it now. I'll have to put Half-Blood Prince in A, because I'm trying to think about what's wrong with this movie where it doesn't correlate with the books, and I can't really think of anything. So yeah, I'm going to have to say that it's A still, the movie by itself. Because when you try to find things wrong with this movie, like a lot of things that's not necessarily rooted in with it leaving stuff out from the books, you can't really find that many things. And it's not an S tier. The movie's not perfect. The movie's not it's, you know, like, yeah, but A tier is fair for this movie. And that's really all I gotta say about it. The ending scene where at the end of the movie where everyone puts their wands in the air and support and respect for Dumbledore, that was amazing. That scene was amazing. But y'all, if you've never read the book of Half-Blood Prince, the ending of it has a whole battle with members from the Order and Death Eaters. Like, it doesn't just, like, when Harry and Dumbledore come back, it doesn't just end there with Dumbledore being killed and thrown off the top of the tower. There's a whole battle going on there. So it's a lot of crazy stuff happens. But one of my favorite moments of the entire series is at the end when Snape and Harry fight, because obviously Harry just seen Snape kill Dumbledore. And in the movie, Harry only does one spell to Snape. Two if I remember. He does one spell and he deflects it. Snape deflects it. No. I got it. I think Harry does one spell, Snape deflects it, and then Harry yells, "Fight back, you coward, fight back." And then Bellatrix comes in and hits Harry with a spell. I think it's Crucio, and lays Harry out. And then Snape says no, and then goes up to Harry. Yeah. In the book, Harry throws multiple spells at Snape, including Sectum Sempra. And then that's finally when Snape throws a spell back at him and then says, "You dare use my own spell against..." Dang, am I thinking of the movie wording or how the book words it? however you want to say it, Harry throws a bunch of spells at Snape and tells and is actually teaching him at the same time in the books. He's teaching him, telling him that he's not going to, those spells are never going to work on Snape unless he learns how to close his mind. And Snape shows how easy it is. He knows this. It's said in the book that Harry's saying it's like Snape knows what spell he's going to use before he does it, because Snape is reading his mind, which is what Snape was trying to teach Harry in the previous movie/book. But Harry never got it, partly because it was Snape and he just hates Snape. But yeah, it was so much more in the book. Oh my gosh, that scene's so amazing in the book. But in the movie, it was dumbed down a lot. That doesn't necessarily take away from the movie though, because like I said, we're separating them. So in separating them, the movie is A tier. Now we got Deathly Hallows Part 1. And a lot of people actually don't like this movie. They think it's boring. They think it's mostly just setup. I disagree. I think the movie itself is great, especially the beginning with the Battle of the Seven Potters, which is, I'd say, the most climactic or just the most exciting part of the movie. It's still amazing though. Another amazing part is when they're at the wedding and the Death Eaters attack and Kingsley shoots his Patronus through the tent where all the wedding guests are and says the ministry has fallen, the minister of magic is dead, they're coming, saying the Death Eaters are coming. That part is so amazing. And then they do attack, and Harry's looking for Ginny, and Ron and Hermione find each other, and then Harry finds Ginny, tries to run over to her and get her, but Lupin stops and says go, and then pushes him and says go. You know what I'm saying? Amazing. And then the next part is them at the coffee shop where they fight the Death Eaters, and then we really see wow, this is really happening. Harry, Hermione, and Ron are really on the run. Is it anywhere safe for them? The movie is very good. People didn't like the part where they're in the woods. I still think it's good. You know, I don't think it really has bad pacing. It might be an attention span thing, I don't know. But overall, I love the movie. So we're going to put Deathly Hallows Part 1 in A tier. Once again, these are not in order in the tier that they're in. So don't say nothing about that. You can order them however you want to. I'm just saying what tier they're in, because once again, none of these movies are bad movies. None of them. And of course, the last and final movie we're going over is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now, this movie is amazing also. I love this movie. So action-packed. From the beginning of the movie where we're breaking into Gringotts, amazing. And the entire Battle of Hogwarts is also amazing. So many great things happen. Now, yes, things were left out from the book. Once again, we're not talking about the book. We're talking about specifically movies. And I'm gonna just give the rating right now. I'm gonna give the tier right now. But based off of just the movie alone, this movie is easily in the S tier. You might disagree with that. I don't think there's any other place for it in the tier list. I'm not gonna lie. I want to be able to hear you out for why you'd put it under S tier, maybe A tier, but I couldn't see anyone putting it any less than A. A or S. And I'm putting it in S. The music is good. The acting is amazing. And one of the most iconic, possibly the most iconic scene in Harry Potter history is when Snape and Dumbledore are talking in the memory that Harry's watching, and then we get the iconic always from Snape. Oh my gosh. You can't tell me it's not legendary. There's just so many iconic moments. Harry going up into the forest and sacrificing himself for everybody at Hogwarts, thinking he's going to 100% die, which, if you didn't know, is a big part of why that even worked. Harry could not know that he wasn't going to die, or it wouldn't have worked. He had to willingly go and sacrifice himself for everybody, for him to come back, you know. And then when Voldemort wanted to make sure he was dead, he sent Narcissa over, and she turned around and lied to Voldemort, knowing that Voldemort is a very, very skilled legerdemain. She still was able to turn around and lie to his face, because she wanted to make sure her baby's okay. She wanted to make sure Draco is alive. And then the iconic speech moments later where Neville is saying why he'll never follow him, and pulls out the sword of Gryffindor, and then Harry comes back, shoots a spell at Nagini, and then the battle keeps going. Oh my. You can't tell me the movie is not peak. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the tier list. This is my official tier list. This, to me, is the correct tier list. Now, if you want a video of me ranking the movies, I can do that because, like I said, a tier list is not the same as a ranking. But if you want a video of me ranking the movies, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about my tier list, and how would you do yours differently? Let me know in the comments. That's all I got for y'all today. Once again, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Let me know what your guys' rankings would be. I'll make another video doing another tier list, but comparing it with the books as well, so y'all can see how that tier list would come out differently. So one final time, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you thought of my tier list, and if you think this is the correct tier list, or if I'm just chatting. I'm out.